couch. I haven't done a mental mojo in quite some time. So I decided to kind of get on here and go ahead and do it. So, first and foremost, parents kind of suck. Adults kind of suck. We project negativity and we don't necessarily mean to do it onto others or ourselves, but it happens. When we do it onto ourselves and it becomes kind of an everyday addictive behavior, it is known as rumination. But potentially, I think that adults and parents, caregivers, are our children's greatest adversaries. That means we kind of suck. While it's almost always in a careless kind of aspect, we don't necessarily mean to. It's inattentive, generational trauma driven. We as parents seem to be misleading. We're misleading our littles and adolescents so much of the time. Again, I would not say that we mean to do this. Life happens, words are spoken, actions are taken, memories are ingrained. Our neurotransmitters will attach to specific events, and depending on what the event looks like, it can affect us in a lot of different ways. So when we're projecting negativity in our fears, even simply stating, "Watch out! Be careful! You're going to hurt yourself," we're literally telling that child that they're going to hurt themselves, and they might not hurt themselves. When our toddlers are learning to walk, they may or may not fall. So instead, we could say things like, "Watch around you, watch your body," instead of creating more mindfulness and curiosity rather than a fear ingrained into our children. I've always loved being a parent. I really never thought I would. Ever. I always thought that I never wanted children, and then I had them, and honestly, it has been the most amazing experience. I love being a parent. For a really long time, because I live in a really small area, and I went to a high school that had graduated with like 80 kids. I think 80 kids graduated. I was really I felt so much shame when I got pregnant at 19. So much shame. And now that I have admitted this out loud, 12 years later, I feel amazing. I don't feel that shame. I feel as if I can finally be myself again as a mom, coming out of my divorce, and God, it's going to be 6 years, which is just crazy to me. Anyways, so when we're projecting something as powerful as our negativity, which is just this energy, this aura that feeds off of us, we can really have, I think it's embarrassing for parents to necessarily come clean. It's embarrassing for parents to own up to their mistakes and to say, "I'm sorry." But throughout my parenting, it has transitioned to something more powerful. They really have inspired a sense of educational learning, and learning about the brain in me. So throughout this love of not just being a parent, but also just studying the brain, I still notice that I have tendencies to go back into more negative patterns. Essentially, my carelessness is their greatest foe. And their dad's carelessness is the biggest bone that they're going to have to pick around. We never meant for it to be this way. No parent does. And just as with everyone, we never mean to project negativity onto the world or on others or ourselves, but we do. We do because it's ingrained in us. Negativity, sadness. There's events in each one of our lives that we can say has brought us to where we are, that has negatively brought us to where we are in some aspects. It's always darkest. It's always darkest before the calm. An example of me being my children's greatest foe, and this is a mistake and an accident, but in truth, I could have been more mindful. So Brianna had a play date scheduled a couple of weeks ago for 9 a.m. And I'm going to be really honest, it was during the school week, and I didn't even open my eyes until 10 a.m. I did wake up at 5, like 5:45 to make her breakfast, but I fell back into sleep, a really deep sleep, I think, and I didn't wake up until an hour after her play date started. And then it took us about 45 minutes to get going. It just was she was kind of upset with me. And I understood, and I really had to apologize to her and tell her that it was, my fault, and that I didn't really sleep very well. Sleeping has not been my friend the past couple of weeks. Actually, the past couple of months. But that's okay. It'll come back. And I think because of vacation time and having too much time off of work that I didn't really expect, it kind of just made this blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Anyways. So we can reshape how we negatively. Oh, excuse me, I just got really tired. I'm gonna yawn. Oxygen to the brain. So we can reshape our negative talk, but how do we do that? And how do we do it for ourselves too? It's hard. If you want to hear more phrases for our children, you can visit my blog page, mountainmontessorimama.org. I've shared several articles on there to help us revamp our parenting phrase books. And for persons without children, parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, what our children hear, and even the high schooler children, even the younger adult adolescent children, the words that they hear are spoken at breakfast, and what they hear their parents arguing about, those words really matter, and we really need to own up to our mistakes at that time. We can create healthy boundaries even when we make these mistakes with our children by just owning up, and whether or not that's saying, hey, I'm sorry, I realized that my voice got louder than I intended. I was feeling really frustrated. I will be working on that, but what I need from you As adults, we find ways to communicate with others individuals, if we really care, and sometimes if we don't care. Our children should be really treated no differently. They these can be our first challenging conversations with them. It can be the humbleness of just owning up to your own mistakes. We can talk it out at their levels and find understanding. And within mindful practices, so many have helped me, but the ones that have really seemed to stuck and to allow me to grow compassion and love for myself while maintaining mindfulness on the negativity that I share is being artistic and playing with different art forms. I love to paint and to draw and scrapbook and decoupage. Writing and expressing myself personally and publicly. Publicly is scary, but it is a part of my process. Theta waves, delta waves, meditation, those are 3 things that have also really aided me. Hiking and getting back on my bike. Oh, and one other thing about theta waves is theta waves increase our subconscious neurotransmitters, which allows for a more deep processing to occur. So often I will listen to theta waves when I sleep to allow my brain to process and to be able to dream. Hiking and getting back on my bike. Yeah, I said that. Resting my body and spending time in the water. Water is so healing. Humans, we're creative creatures, and we really need to have access to various outlets that allow us to grow and express our energies. Express our energies. See how I say that? Huh. With that, we are all different, and we all process things differently and on our own time as well. This is okay. But how do we not project negativity onto others when we're going through these negative times in our lives or when we're struggling day to day? And in truth, if using my personal social media is projecting negativity, please share to me privately. I never intend to do that, but upon looking back on many posts that I have posted, there's always this sense of kind of like mellow madness, maybe, I don't know. And I don't necessarily want to do that because I'm a very happy person. I've been going through a very struggling time in my life and this is a journey. So for me, sharing my rawness doesn't just help others. I think that when we share our rawness, that's the only way we can really help people. But I really feel as if I'm allowing myself to come out of this hidden closet. This is important for me and for women in general. We have been told to silence our mouths and shut up for a really long time. Mental health isn't going anywhere, and really for any of us, the only way that we can grow and to know that we're the only ones out there, we're not the only ones out there, is by sharing our raw selves. And I know this because for 32 years I Googled questions, especially in my romantic relationship, my first marriage. It's sad actually, in sense to say a little bit, but I didn't really have a mom to ask, and I didn't want to ask my dad, so I Googled a lot of things, asked and searched for right answers, tried to get validation. I don't know. So don't hide. It's time that we don't hide. This doesn't serve you and this doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me and it doesn't serve you if I'm hiding. So sending love, sending light.